bell is singing, and so are we. We're going to invite you all right off the bat to rise as body and spirit allow and join us in creating community here together in song. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. Es hoy un día muy feliz. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. No tengas miedo a cambiar. No tengas miedo a cambiar. Es hoy un día muy feliz. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. So enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. Es hoy un día muy feliz. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy.
Our opening words are by the Reverend Gretchen Haley. Although there remains too much evidence of the world breaking apart at coastlines, congressional hearings, and kitchen tables, inside the quiet places of your heart and mine, there resides still the seeds, the longing to return to this knowing that we belong to each other, to this earth, to this life. To remember ourselves and all of our lost pieces, beloved in ways that cannot be undone. To dwell here in this healing, this hope, this wholeness is our practice of resistance. Even in our rage, we refuse to relinquish our gratitude and our joy. Come, let us worship together.
It's my pleasure to invite up our women's choir to share a piece with us this morning. An invitation to all of you. The women's choir rehearses on Monday evenings in Bard Hall at 7 o'clock. You're welcome to join. Sopranos and altos and women of all kinds. And we're sharing with you a piece this morning called I Am Willing by Holly Near. Holly Near, who's doing a concert here in this room on June 16th. Yes.
Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online.
Buenos días y bienvenidos a la primera iglesia unitaria universalista de San Diego, donde adoramos cada domingo en South Bay, Hillcrest y en línea.
My name's Gay Hybertson, and I'm a member of the board. I use the pronouns she and her. I want to give a special welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. Please fill out the welcome card in your order of service.
Soy la reverenda Kristen Kuriga y uso el pronombre ella. Una bienvenida muy especial a todos que están con nosotros por primera vez. Les extendemos la invitación de llenar el formulario en el orden de servicio.
Our community is a vital, diverse, multi-generational congregation without borders, with a mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world.
Somos una congregación compuesta de personas de distintas identidades racializadas y culturas, personas de diversas orientaciones sexuales y identidades de género, personas de varias habilidades mentales y físicas.
We are creators of community and compassion, and though we can fall short, we are committed to practicing an affirming welcome to all.
Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos esta mañana en la tierra de los Kumeyaay, quienes continúan viviendo en todo su territorio. Al emprender este viaje juntos, mantengamos en nuestros corazones y mentes el pueblo Kumeyaay.
In the spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay, who continue to live throughout their territories. May the light of this candle shine for our commitment to the Kumeyaay people and to justice and equity for all Indigenous people everywhere.
It's my pleasure to invite you to rise once more as body and spirit allow and join us in our church hymn and our aspiration. From all who dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue. De todos bajo el gran sol surja esperanza, fe, amor, verdad y belleza cantando de cada tierra, cada voz. May love be the spirit of this church. May blessed for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Que el amor sea la doctrina de esta iglesia, la búsqueda de la verdad, su sacramento, y el servicio, su oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad
So I'd like to invite up now any of our children, our youth, our young at heart who might like to join me for our story for all ages this morning. Oh, I've got someone going the other way. Come this way. I'd love to show you the pictures of my story about joy. Come close in. Oh, wonderful. And if anyone changes their mind, you're welcome down anytime. So our story this morning is called Joy, and it's written by Corinne Avarice and Isabel Folleth. Fern loved Nana. She loved her butterfly cakes, her mantelpiece mice, and her cat, Snowball. Most of all, she loved her smile. But recently, Nana had stopped baking cakes. The mice were dusty, and Snowball was more like a ball of fuzz. But worst of all, Nana hardly ever smiled. "What's wrong with Nana?" Fern asked her mother. "I don't know," Mom replied. "It's like the joy has gone out of her life." "What's joy?" asked Fern. "Joy is what makes your heart happy and your eyes twinkle." "You mean like when we dance after dinner? Or when I get the giggles with my friend Ernie? Or when I go whooshing down the slide?" "Yes," said her mama, "a great big whoosh." Well, Nana deserved some whoosh, thought Fern. And if the joy had gone out of Nana's life, then she would bring it back. But where would Fern find it? And how would she carry it to Nana? She searched the house for a catching kit. She found a can and a paper bag and a saucepan, a box with no lid and a lid with no box, a fishing net and a pointy stick, and into Fern's catching bag, all of it went. That afternoon, Fern and her mother set off for the park. There would be plenty. Fern and her mother set off for the park. There would be plenty of joy there. No one would mind if she borrowed just a little bit for her Nana. A puppy bounded towards Fern, its floppy ears flying up and down. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Fern giggled, and she felt that whoosh of joy. She tried to catch the bounce, but the bounce wouldn't go in the box. On the swing, a baby chuckled each time her daddy tickled her feet. Tickle, tickle, chuckle, chuckle. Fern chuckled too, and she felt that whoosh of joy. She tried to catch the chuckles. Then she tried to catch the tickles. But neither the tickles or the chuckles would go in the can. When Fern reached the duck pond, a shimmer of sun sparkles rippled across the water. Fern smiled. She felt that whoosh of joy. Nana would love this, she thought. She tried to catch the sparkles, first with her fishing net, and then with her paper bag, and finally with a scoop from her saucepan. But the sparkles just disappeared. Finding joy was easy, but catching it was hard. Fern walked with heavy feet. She loved Nana, and she wanted to bring joy back into her life. But her catching bag was empty. Nana was snoozing in her chair. Fern laid her head on her arm. "What's the matter?" asked Nana. "I wanted to catch some joy for you, but I couldn't," said Fern sadly. And then Fern told Nana about all the things she had seen, about the bounding puppy and the baby who was having their feet tickled on the swing, and about the sparkles in the water. And to Fern's surprise, Nana smiled. It was the biggest, widest whoosh of a smile Fern had ever seen. You don't need a can or a box or a net to bring me joy, Nana said. You bring me all the joy in the world just by being you. And the next day, Fern took Nana to the park. Whoosh! Together they found joy in the most unusual places. And this time, Fern's catching bag was full to the brim with Nana's delicious butterfly cakes. The end. So I want to invite you, if you would be willing to help me, let's stand and lead our affirmation, first in English and then in Spanish. Okay, you ready? We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I invite you to go with Kate to your classes this morning.
And today's announcements. Lay ministers are available after the service on each Sunday to offer a listening presence. Today's lay minister is Karen Thurston. Enjoy a Valentine treat of ice cream in Bard Hall after the service. Friends of de Benneville Pines and the youth groups will be spooning ice cream to benefit the Youth Campership Fund. From March 10th through 24th, our congregation will host the Interfaith Shelter here on our Hillcrest campus. We'll provide shelter for up to 12 guests and breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks. During this time, the common room and room 113 will be our guests' home. This is an important way our congregation acts on its values, and we need your help. Stop by the table on the patio and find out how you can volunteer your help. Provide an evening meal, serve as a greeter or an overnight host, or be part of a small project like coordinating bedding, organizing laundry, or shopping for food and supplies. Today's a great day to sign up, so make sure you do it. Another way we live our values is by sharing our offering each week with a local justice-making organization. In January, parts of San Diego, especially southeast San Diego, experienced catastrophic flooding, causing damage to homes, businesses, farms, vehicles, and communities. Throughout the month of February, our offering will be received in support of the San Diego Flood Response Fund, organized by the San Diego Foundation. The fund was created to rapidly get resources into the community and support organizations responding to the unprecedented flooding in our communities. The fund will make emergency grants to nonprofit service organizations engaged in disaster response and relief. You may donate this morning here in person using your credit or debit card in the dip jars or by cash or check in the donation boxes. If you'd like assistance, please raise your hand. You may also donate online on our website, firstuusandiego.org. Thank you for your generosity. This morning's offerings will now be gratefully received. Today's reading is from Inciting Joy by Ross Gay. What does joy incite? My hunch is that joy is an ember for our precursor to wild and unpredictable and transgressive solidarity, and that solidarity might incite further solidarity. My hunch is that joy, emerging from our common sorrow, which does not necessarily mean we have the same sorrows, but that we, in common sorrow, might draw us together. It might depolarize us and de-atomize us enough that we consider what, in common, we love. And though attending to what we hate in common is too often all the rage, and it happens also to be very big business, noticing what we love in common and studying that might help us survive. It's why I think of joy, which gets us to love, as being a practice of survival.
I love that song. Thank you. What a gift. So last spring, Lucas's elementary school rented out the entire roller skating rink the night before spring break. It was a Tuesday, a day that had been packed with meetings. My mind was filled with this never-ending to-do list. In comes my 4.5-year-old son, pleading with me to go roller skating with him. I just felt like I had to say, I am so sorry, I do not have time to go roller skating. But he was so eager and so excited. So we loaded up into the car in between meetings and headed to the rink. There, with the dim lighting and the neon signs and the really loud 80s music, we donned our rental skates and we headed to the edge of the rink. Now, it had been at least 20 years since I had been on roller skates, and it was Lucas's very first time. I was hesitant and a little bit nervous. My husband, Josh, who has never roller skated, wasn't even gonna try. But then I had this moment where I stepped over the edge and I pushed off, and my body remembered how to skate. There was this rhythm to it where I was gliding and sliding, and I just fell into it. Lucas's hand was in mine, and I was flooded with all these good memories of remembering when my father taught me to roller skate when I was probably about the same age. Now, after a few times around the rink, Lucas decided he wanted to do it himself. So Lucas got this trainer, and he started skating. But he wasn't just skating. He was dancing in the center of the rink, lifting his leg up, going under the flashing disco ball. He was bending under the limbo bar with the other kids. He was laughing and falling and getting back up, and he was grooving to the music. And while he was doing that, I just started skating. And I hit this rhythm where I was just gliding around the rink. And I felt this growing sense of freedom and ease. It was almost like I was flying. And I was struck by an unmistakable feeling, that whoosh of joy. Contentment spread through my whole being. My worries melted away. I was in the moment, connected to myself and to all of these skaters, big and small, sharing this communal experience. And I was in love with life again. In that moment, I realized that what I needed more than anything was joy. More than getting out a few more emails, more than folding the never-ending pile of laundry in my bedroom, or reading another tragic story on the news. My soul was hungry for joy. When was the last time you were surprised by joy? What did it feel like in your body? Jan Richardson writes in her poem For Joy, "You can prepare, but still it will come to you by surprise. It will astonish you how wide your heart will open in welcome for the joy that finds you so ready and so unprepared." Sometimes I think as a culture we can kind of belittle joy. We think of it as maybe shallow or insignificant or self-centered. But I believe that joy is a spiritual experience. Joy can open our hearts. It activates our aliveness. It reminds us that we are connected to one another. Joy shows us in our very own bodies what full human thriving feels like. And then we want more of it, more for ourselves, but not just ourselves, but for other people. We want to remove the barriers to joy for everyone. Now, our reading this morning came from Ross Gay's poetic book of essays called Inciting Joy, and he explores this very question. He starts by telling us how often he is challenged by others, how people come to his book readings and say, "How dare you write about joy when there is so much suffering and injustice in our communities. Joy is not a serious exploration, not a serious topic of exploration. Joy is a denial of reality. Whew. He troubles this notion that somehow joy is separate from sorrow. Instead, he explains that every single one of us knows what sorrow feels like. We all carry sorrow in our body, mind, and spirit. We don't have the same sorrows, but we know some sorrow. Joy is what happens when we come together in community with our sorrows, and we experience unexpected delight, connection, and happiness. He goes on throughout the book to tell stories of these moments, both in his personal life and in his community, that have incited joy. But he doesn't stop there. He also asks, what does joy incite? When we experience joy, when we get in touch with what we love, what does that inspire in us? He has a hunch that joy and love incite us to care for one another, to protect each other and the earth, to fight for the right for all of us to thrive. Joy incites solidarity that makes justice and equity possible. Now, throughout the month of February, we're exploring the themes of justice and equity. And when you think of justice and equity, I know for me, the energy that comes to mind is struggle. I see images of civil disobedience, of protesting in the streets, of strikes and sit-ins, actions taken to interrupt systems of oppression. I think of active resistance to the forces of evil. And all of these things are necessary. Now, joy is not usually my first association when I think of justice, equity, or resistance. But I've come to understand in a deeper way how claiming joy is in itself an act of resistance to injustice. In a society that constantly asks us to be working and producing, claiming time for joy is countercultural. It interrupts this constant grind and declares that our value is not solely bound up with what we produce. We are not just here to be of use to one another. We are here to be, to experience, to embrace what is joyful and pleasurable and life-giving. And claiming what is life-giving begins to interrupt these systems that perpetuate injustice. It may only be one piece of the work for justice and equity, but it's an aspect that I have come to understand as essential to sustaining our movements. As Roske writes, I think of joy, which gets us to love, as being a practice of survival. I believe this is especially true in communities plagued by the death-dealing impacts of poverty, of violence, of hatred, and racism. Joy says, you may try to oppress me, but there are some things that you cannot take, and this joy is one of them. We were blessed this morning with a version of a gospel tune, This Joy, The World Can't Take It Away, which was written by Shirley Cesar and sung by our very own women's choir. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. There's a joyful defiance to this song that honestly fills me up. I first discovered it in a version sung by the Resistance Revival Chorus during the pandemic. When I needed strength to keep going, to keep fighting for justice, I would put it on as loud as I could, I would sing at the top of my lungs, and I would dance in my living room. At the end of the video, one of the leaders comes on and she says, Resistance Revival Chorus believes in the words written by the poet Toy Derricott when she wrote, joy is an act of resistance. We believe in the words of Mr. Harry Belafonte, who said, when the movement is strong, the music is strong. We sing to revive the hearts of those who fight for social justice, and we sing together for freedom. For me, this song declares that the sorrows and injustices we experience are indeed real, but they are not all of us. We are also made for joy. We are made for strength and for love and for pride and for hope and for peace. We have a right to them, and we will claim them together. Now, during the pandemic, I struggled with a pretty deep sense of despair and isolation. I imagine maybe you did too. So when I read our story for all ages this morning, it really resonated with me. There was this young child who loves her Nana, and she's concerned because she's no longer smiles, and she doesn't do the things that she loves anymore, like baking. She asks her mom what happened, and she said, it's like the joy has gone out of her life. Have you ever had a time like that? When the joy has just completely gone out of your life? I know I have. The child gets this idea that she's going to go out and she's going to catch this joy, and she's going to bring it to her. She goes to the park and she feels this whoosh of joy when she meets a puppy, when she hears this child laughing on the swings, when she sees sunlight sparkling on the stream. But try as she might, she can't catch joy. It's fleeting. She goes home to her Nana, and she is sad and disappointed, and she tells her about what she's been trying to do and all the things that she saw and she felt. And her Nana smiles. Perhaps because she can imagine it, right? She can see it as her grandchild explains it to her, or just because she loves her grandchild. They go out into the world, and they experience this whoosh of joy together. And then they are more fully alive. My reconnection to joy came during the pandemic through a good friend of mine. One night we were on the phone trying to figure out how exactly do you support each other through a pandemic? And we came up with the idea that we would be each other's joy accountability partners. And so each night before bed, we committed to send a text to each other about a moment in our lives, some experience that had brought us joy. It could be tiny or large, lasting or fleeting, but we were determined to claim one moment of each day and savor it. Now, sometimes I will say joy looked a lot like gratitude. Other days, we wrote these long texts about how we just couldn't seem to find joy no matter how hard we looked. Sorrow was almost always present right alongside the joy. But there was something powerful about centering joy in our lives and in our relationship. It nourished us, and it strengthened us, and it helped us to keep going. So I wonder if us, right here at church, if we can be one another's joy accountability partners. What do you think? You think we can be each other's joy accountability partners? I wonder if we could start asking each other, where are you experiencing joy in your life? And what is this joy inciting us to do? What is joy inciting in us? Over the last few months, we have intentionally created opportunities for connection and joy here at church. Holiday sing-alongs, a tamalada, shared meals with impromptu dance parties, posadas, a gathering of all ages, crafting and creating together. These community celebrations nourish us, they deepen our bonds of connection, and they incite us to continue the work for justice and equity. Community and celebration is not separate from the work for justice and equity. And I see us living into that call that emerges from joy, to be of service, to collectively struggle so that every single person can thrive. I see it in the volunteers at the food pantry, salvaging goods from grocery stores and Starbucks, picking up bread, distributing food and diapers to hundreds of families each week. the last 2 weeks, over 500 families in one Saturday. I see it in the climate justice organizers I am running into everywhere with petitions who are working for a public power option on the ballot. I see it in the volunteers at the border providing humanitarian aid in the form of sandwiches or a warm blanket through the wall. I see it in the many volunteers and leaders who are making it possible to open our church to be a home during our interfaith shelter this March. Joy connects us. Joy activates our aliveness. Joy sustains us. It reminds us what full human thriving feels like in our bodies. And joy incites us to work for justice and equity. Let us claim joy, and may we be a people of joyful resistance. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Well, I feel a lot of joy when I get to sing with you. And when you all sing with me, so I'll invite you to rise, embody your spirit, to dance, embody your spirit, to sing, embody your spirit, as we share this joy together. Joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it. This peace, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Didn't give it to me, didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This strength that I have. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love, this love, this love, this love that I have, the world didn't give it, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. Didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This hope I have, this hope I have. Didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This hope that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy, this joy, this joy, this joy I have. The world didn't give it to me, didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to the world, didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Take this joy that we have created together this morning, that we have felt in our bodies, and let's go out and claim joy for all beings. Blessed be, and may it be so.